What is up, guys? RSC6414 here, back with another video. This time I'm doing my NFL week number 8 picks. Back for some more sports action, some more picks. I'm going to get off to the week and do just like I do, kind of preview, analyze each game, and give you my predictions on who I think is going to win. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we have tomorrow, actually today, considering it is Thursday morning here on the East Coast, the Carolina Panthers going at it against their NFC rivals, NFC South rivals, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucks are 0-6. They lost to Atlanta 31-23 last week. The Panthers coming off a win 30-15 over the Rams. Good win for them. Panthers are 3-3 now, so they're improving, looking pretty decent. So maybe they're picking it up some. Bucks, like I said, 0-6 with Mike Glennon. I don't see the Bucks winning here, so even though it is, the Panthers will be on the road. I think the game will be close, but I see the Panthers squeaking it out and winning a game, sort of like a 24-17 type game. So my pick, Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers to emerge victorious over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So then the next game we have going here is, gotta see the schedule, sorry. The Dallas Cowboys at the Detroit Lions Sunday 1 o'clock game. You have the Detroit Lions coming off a tough loss to the Cincinnati Bengals 27-24 last week in overtime, and the Cowboys beating the Eagles in a very boring 17-3 game. But hey, a win's a win, as all of you know. The Dallas Cowboys 4-3, doing all right, not great, but they are at the top of the NFC East, considering the NFC East has had a pretty lousy year with all the teams in it, Giants, Eagles, Skins. And then you have the Detroit Lions, who've had a decent year, 4-3 as well. They're tied for second in the NFC North with the Bears. So it's at Detroit. I've gone with Detroit the past couple weeks, and one time I got it right, one time I didn't. But you know what? I'm going with Detroit again. I think at Ford Field, in the Dome, with the fans behind them, the Detroit fans, I mean, they've always been loyal, whether they want to show their faces or not. But they're picking it up, and I see the Lions winning here. I see a good close game, sort of like a 27-24 type game we saw with the Bengals last week. I see a close game, but I see the Lions squeaking it out with Matt Stafford and Calvin Johnson and Reggie Bush. So yeah, my pick, the Detroit Lions in a close, good game. The next game we have here is the San Francisco 49ers against the Jacksonville Jaguars, another 1 o'clock game Sunday. We had, we had the San Francisco 49ers beat the Tennessee Titans last week, and then they improved to 5-2. And then we had the Jacksonville Jaguars lose again to the San Diego Chargers, and they are now 0-7. So the 5-2 and versus 0-7 team is very lopsided. I think the game will be closer than people might think, but I do, on the other hand, think the San Francisco 49ers are too much for the Jaguars. Jaguars, I don't think, will pick up their first win this week. In the future, maybe, but I do feel bad for them. But still, I think Colin Kaepernick, I think they're going to win. And yeah, my pick, San Francisco 49ers to take out Jacksonville. By the way, the game's at Wembley Stadium in England, so not the best game to give England fans, but it usually isn't. So yeah, my pick, San Francisco to win at Wembley Stadium in England. Next game we have, oh, by the way, Chad Henne's starting for the Jaguars. Forgot to mention that, as he always has the past few weeks. But I'm still picking San Fran. Sorry, just thought I'd put that in there. Next game we have Cleveland Browns at the Kansas City Chiefs, Sunday, 1 o'clock game. It's at Kansas City. Kansas City squeaked one out last week against Case Keenum, the guy out of Houston University of Houston, now starting for the Texans since he Yates is out, but Schaub's out. But the Chiefs squeaked one out 17-16 to improve to 7-0. So now I'm pretty sure they're the only undefeated team left. Who would have thought? But Andy Reid with his coaching mastermind, hey, I mean, he's proved he's a good coach. I mean, taking one of the worst teams in the NFL to become the best record and one of the best teams in the NFL right now. So good for him, good for the Chiefs. But you know what? Jason Campbell's starting this week for my Cleveland Browns. Yes, for those of you who don't know or don't remember, I am a Browns fan along with my Miami Dolphins, along with the New Orleans Saints. Those are my three teams. You know what? The heck with it. Jason Campbell's starting. The Browns have nothing to lose. They're 3-4. I mean, chances are we probably won't make the playoffs. I mean, tied for second in the AFC North with the Ravens. Bengals top first, 5-2. You know what? The heck with it. I think the Browns are going to give the Chiefs their first loss, and you may think I'm crazy for it, and I'm a little biased. Yes, I am. And I don't care. I'm picking Jason Campbell to take the Browns to victory, to move to 500, give the Chiefs their first win, shocking the NFL fans. I think the Browns, they're just going to play with a chip on their shoulder, nothing to lose, and that's my pick. Cleveland Browns get the win. So then we got our next game, which is the Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots. One of my Dolphins, go Fins. Another one of my teams, let's go. 3-3. We started out 3-0. We lost a tough one to Buffalo last week, 23-21. Gosh, help me, please. Just when it looked like we had a good year going, surprising a little bit, we lose to the Saints. Then we lose again. And then we lose to the Buffalo Bills with our former kicker, Dan Carpenter, beat us. So that's even worse. And we lost to the Bills, who are in our division, which is a tough loss. But, I mean, it's at New England. New England's coming off a very controversial loss to the New York Jets. Very controversial penalty sent into overtime because of them pushing illegally forward on the field goal kick. Rex Ryan, there's all kinds of controversy. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. But the Jets ended up winning 27-24 in overtime in a shocker. Shocked a lot of people, including myself. Miami's playing at New England. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with the Patriots. As much as it pains me, it's the team that I really do hate the most. No offense to Patriot fans, but I'm a Dolphins fan. I don't like the Patriots. Rivals with the Dolphins. As much as it pains me, and I'm literally agonizing in pain inside, just picking them, but I'm picking the Patriots to beat the Dolphins just because it's the realistic pick. So my pick, unfortunately, the New England Patriots to emerge victorious and improve to 6-2, and my Miami Dolphins to go to their fourth straight loss. Next game, another one of my teams, the New Orleans Saints. Who dat? Who dat nation, baby? Let's go Saints. Buffalo Bills at New Orleans, Sunday, 1 o'clock game. Buffalo's coming off a 23-21 win, like I said, over the Dolphins. They're 3-4 currently. Buffalo's had a decent year. I mean, even though they're 3-4, they've played a good year. I'll give them that. They've played some good games, kept them close, pretty respectable. But it's at New Orleans in the Superdome. I don't see Buffalo winning this. I see my New Orleans Saints coming off their bye week last week, picking up the win this week, and improving to 6-1. My team, the New Orleans Saints, who dat, will emerge victorious, I think, and probably a 14-point victory is what I'm imagining over the Buffalo Bills. Next game, New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. New York picked up their first win. Congratulations to them. been a long time coming this year. Sorry for those Giant fans out there that are watching this, if they are. 1-6 Giants, 3-4 Eagles. Eagles lost a tough one last week. Matt Barkley played a lousy game for the Eagles. Michael Vick thinks going into this week, he's been out the past 2 weeks, the way they're talking, he thinks he's got a chance to play. So I'm going to go with just assume that Michael Vick's going to play. And I think Michael Vick and the Eagles, it's at Philadelphia. So I'm picking the Philadelphia Eagles to improve to 4-4 and the New York Giants to drop to 1-7. So my pick, Philadelphia Eagles with the returning Vick, hopefully for them, will pick up the win. Next game we have is the start of the 4:05 games. New York Jets at the Cincinnati Bengals. The New York Jets, who are currently 4-3, coming off a big win against the Patriots, only one game out of being first in the AFC East. Then you have the Cincinnati Bengals, 5-2, first in the AFC North. They also picked up a big win last week to the Detroit Lions in overtime, 27-24 in that one. So this should be an interesting game. I'm actually really excited to see who's going to win this. Do I like either team? Not especially, but it'll be a good game. I think it could be potentially, on paper, this game could be the best game of the week as far as the competitiveness and closeness of it. It's at excuse me. It's at Cincinnati, but New York's coming off a big win. But I'm sticking with the Cincinnati Bengals to win this game. So my pick, Cincinnati Bengals in a close game, potential overtime game is my thoughts on this game. But I pick the Cincinnati Bengals to take out the New York Jets in a very good game. Next game we have Sunday, 4 o'clock game again, Pittsburgh versus at Oakland Raiders. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say the Raiders had a bye last week. Pittsburgh, they picked up a big win over their rivals, the Baltimore Ravens, to win 19-16. So good for them. 2-4, 2 straight wins for the Steelers. They're at Oakland, but Oakland's like, what's their record? 2-4. Sorry, drew a blank for a second. Oakland's 2-4. Pittsburgh's 2-4. In the past, Oakland's played Pittsburgh pretty close. It's at Oakland, but I'm picking the Pittsburgh Steelers to emerge victorious, pick up their 3rd straight win to try and turn around their season for the last-ditch effort that they have. So my pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the Oakland Raiders in a closer game than one might think. So now our next game, we've got Atlanta Falcons at the Arizona Cardinals. Now we're going to the 4:25 games. You've got the Atlanta Falcons picked up a win last week, 31-23. The Arizona Cardinals lost last week, Thursday Night Football, to the Seahawks. Atlanta's 2-4, and Arizona, their record is 3-4. So surprisingly, Arizona's had a better year than one would think. Their win's sloppy, but heck, a win's a win. It's at Arizona. I'm picking the Arizona Cardinals to beat Atlanta. In Arizona, heck, I'm going with Arizona to win. So my pick, the Arizona Cardinals to beat the Atlanta Falcons in what some may think is an upset, even though the record proves to say it's not. So I think I think the Cardinals defense are going to shut down the Falcons and pick up a win that's pretty close and a sloppy win like they always do. So my pick, Arizona Cardinals to pick up the win. Now we've got our 4:25 game again, Washington at Denver. Washington picked up a big win, one of the best games last week, probably if besides the Jets. Patriots, they won 45-41 over the Bears. Washington Redskins still have some hope. They're 2-4 though. I mean, but the way NFC East teams playing, they've still got plenty of time to come back and turn their season around. Then you got the Denver Broncos, who picked up their first loss last week to the Indianapolis Colts. Peyton Manning returned to Indy and ended up losing 39-33 after Irsay said the comments about Peyton Manning, the controversy there. But you know what? Sorry for Peyton. There's rumors going around, though, at practice today. He did not have his pads on, and generally when people don't have their pads on, there's a sign they could be hurt. However, there's been no reports of him officially being hurt yet, so I'm just going to go with assume that he's playing. Washington's playing at Denver, the Mile High City. I'm picking Denver, the home field advantage, so my pick, the Denver Broncos to pick up the win. Next game, Sunday Night Football. Green Bay Packers against their rivals in Minnesota. Josh Freeman played a sloppy game on Monday night to the Giants. First time in a Vikings jersey. He ends up getting a concussion, so it appears Christian Ponder will take over the starting job this week against the Packers. Green Bay is currently 4-2 in Minnesota. However, I'm picking Green Bay to pick up the win here to improve to 5-2 in a pretty good game. I hope it's a good game. So my pick, the Green Bay Packers to pick up the win over their arch rival, the Minnesota Vikings. Next game, final game of Week 8, Seattle Seahawks versus the St. Louis Rams. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party! I just had to plug that in there. Seattle Seahawks at St. Louis. Sam Bradford's out for I think he's out for the year. He tore his ACL against the Panthers when he got knocked out of bounds. St. Louis just signed Brady Quinn, who was released by the Jets a little while. They only had Kellen Clemens besides, we've seen how he's played the past couple years when Bradford got hurt. Not too great. Brady Quinn, he's now on their roster, so now they have two quarterbacks that are healthy. They did just have one until Brady Quinn got signed. So they just had two quarterbacks until Bradford got hurt. Then he's out for the season, so they signed Quinn. And now they have Clemens and Quinn. I'm pretty sure Kellen Clemens will get the start here. But to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think they have any chance. That's right, I said any chance the way Kellen Clemens has played it in the past. That year they went 2-14. No offense to Rams fans. It's Seattle, though. Seattle's going to pick up the win, and I'm pretty sure it'll be an ugly loss for the St. Louis Rams. So my pick, the Seattle Seahawks to emerge victorious. Hope you enjoyed my Week 8 picks. There were some upsets in there for you guys. Some controversy. Freeman's out. That was some of the bigger news. Peyton Manning, maybe he's out. Who knows? And yeah. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed my Week 8 picks. Check out my other videos and subscribe. Thanks, guys.